Doobie-da-ba-ba-ba.
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 Sperm Sisters.
This is a story about sisters, just not the kind that you're expecting.
3 years ago, we were strangers, living separate lives.
Now we know we're biological sisters, connected by the same sperm donor.
And that's just the beginning.
This podcast dives headfirst into the how, the why, and the uncomfortable questions no one seems to want to answer.
Uncovering secrets the medical world would rather keep buried. How many donor-conceived people are there really?
No one can give a straight answer. Not the clinics, not the system, no one.
So, how many siblings could be walking past us every day without a clue?
It's messy, it's shocking. At times, it's almost impossible to believe.
And somehow, it's also really funny.
Come with us as we dig deeper, ask the uncomfortable questions, and laugh our way through the chaos of discovering who we really are and just how many of us there might be.
Coming up on this week's episode of Sperm Sisters. We find out what information others discovered about their donors.
From what she had on her sheet of paper, utter wank. Excuse the Freudian slip there. But she just had like brown hair, blue eyes, likes to go on walks.
And maybe think twice about that free sperm.
If you donate outside of a licensed clinic, the situation is way, way, way more complicated, as you actually could be considered the legal father of any children conceived from your donation.
Whoa.
Feeling ready? Let's go!
Oh, we're back! Let's go from youngest to eldest.
That's me. I'm Helen. I'm the youngest of the three sisters, and I've currently lost my voice, so I feel like I sound like Phoebe Buffay from Friends. You know when she goes, "My sticky shoe."
My name is Gemma. I'm the middle sister, and I am recording from my art studio that has just had a deep clean. And because I paint in oils, there's a very strong whiff of solvents in the air. So I'm not sure. Actually, that could explain quite a lot with the last recording, actually, couldn't it?
Gemma, you have to stop doing this. Because every time we change our outfits, you do it.
I know.
On the same day. And I'm Natasha, and I'm the eldest sister, and this is where we used to record, in this room right here, for those of you who have watched from the start. Okay, well, today, initially for this episode, we were going to discuss what it looked like to prepare for making contact with your donor. However, I've gone a bit rogue and I'm going to do something a little bit different. And instead, I'm going to come from the donor's perspective. And we're going to look at what it might look like for the donor to reach out to their donor-conceived individuals.
Okay.
I like
But
it.
should I redo that bit?
No.
No,
That's
I don't think
just-
so.
I just had like an out-of-body thing to be like, oh, someone else is a point of view other than our own.
Yes,
Let me. I might just read out what I've written down just for clarity.
Okay.
okay.
But I've gone rogue for this one. Did you yawn again?
Yeah.
I'm so fucking sorry.
Boring.
Fucking boring subject.
It's not about me.
No, ready?
Yeah.
But I've gone a little bit rogue for this one, and I'm not going to do that. So instead, I'm going to come at this episode from the perspective of a donor themselves and how a donor might prepare for possible contact from someone conceived from their donation. Okay, so my first point of reference for this as a subject was to visit the HFEA website, which stands for
The Human Fertilization Embryonic Authority. Nearly.
Yep. Embryology.
Oh, yeah.
Close enough.
Embryonic. Whatever.
And this information that they share on the FHEA website is specifically aimed at sperm, egg, or embryo donors who have had an adult conceived from their donation, who then apply to them for identifying information about their donor.
So is this people post 2005?
Let me tell you. This
Okay.
is what I'm going to tell you includes donors who donated after 2005 when donor anonymity was lifted, as well as donors who donated between 1991, the 1st of August 1991 and the 31st of March 2005, and have chosen to remove their donor anonymity. So I'm going to just throw some key facts out initially before we sort of dive into some questions that I have for you. If, when, and how contact is made will ultimately be decided by the person conceived from the sperm donor's donation. So it's not up to the donor to reach out to their donor.
I get what you're saying. It's essentially like a donor bumble, and it's the woman reaches out first. This is the donor conceived person's reaching out first.
Correct, Amendo.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. They, as the donor, are not legally obligated to respond to any contact from the donor conceived person. They don't have to make contact with them if they do not wish to. Key fact that I wanted to read out to you both before diving straight in is, which I found was quite interesting, is that the donor can apply for information on how many children were born from their donation.
No way. Hold on. What? Sorry.
Wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Because there's more. There's more. As well as the sex and their year of birth.
No way. So these are people who were conceived after 1991.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone donated after 1991, they can go to HFEA, ask for the download script of, oh, okay, I've got this many kids, the X amount of boys, X amount of girls.
Correct.
That's really lovely.
So, well, it is, it is really lovely because I guess you would want, like, you'd be intrigued for that information.
Well, you might be, but you might not be.
No. And once you have that information, like, it's a shame we don't have the stats on who then goes on to make contact after they found that out.
Yeah. Well, look, we don't have the stats, but we do have some very helpful do's and don'ts.
Let's do it.
But I was thinking when I was writing all of this down and I was like researching for this episode, I was thinking about something that came up for us, I think, in episode 4 when we were talking about the Facebook sperm.
Yeah.
Because I think that we should circle back to that just very, very quickly, just briefly, because we need to talk about the legal rights around what it looks like when it comes to donating sperm outside of a licensed fertility clinic. Because we didn't actually mention this at all in episode 4, at least I don't think that we did. But using a licensed fertility clinic means you will have no legal rights or responsibilities to children conceived from your donation. You'll have absolutely zero say over their upbringing and won't be required to pay anything towards their care. However, if you donate outside of a licensed clinic, the situation is way, way, way more complicated, as you actually could be considered the legal father of any children conceived from your donation.
Whoa.
Shut up.
Because it's an illegal way of doing it.
Well, it's essentially exactly the same as someone having a one-night stand, coming back from a night out, getting together with a bloke, end up having a kid. It happens, right?
Yep.
And then that woman saying, well, you're the legal father, so what are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah. And I just suddenly, when I was like looking into all this, I was like, oh, we hadn't even considered that when we were talking about the Facebook sperm in that episode.
Stop it. No way.
Well, I'm going to just throw out a question for you both. So if you were to put yourself in the shoes of a donor, what do you think some things might be that you need to think about when it would come to having that initial contact with your potential donor conceived child?
So if I'm in the shoes of a donor, right?
Yeah.
And I've donated, I think what tends to be the first sort of question, I'm basing this not really on anything solid, just what I've heard.
Yeah.
I think the main point of concern that donors have is like, what will they want from me? So I think that's what stops a lot of donors from making contact, because they worry about like a sinister aspect in a way, of which I'm not really sure what the sinister aspect could actually be if it's done through a regulated clinic, because they don't have any legal rights or responsibilities. But because it's not discussed properly, I think there's always that worry, or people might think, do they want to make contact because they want money from me? Again, just not a possibility, but not covered enough for them. But if I was doing it from not like a what's the word I'm trying to find? Not sinister, from a if I was coming from it from not from like a cynical angle, I would say maybe, if I knew I had a health condition, or after I donated, my mum or dad had dementia that was quite possibly going to be run down in the family, or a form of cancer that, I'd know the offspring would have a chance of inheriting. I would like to think that I would feel sort of a moral obligation to poke it a bit further to see if I could pass that information on at least.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
Definitely.
Gemma, what are your thoughts? You're in agreement there?
I imagine that a lot of it would come down to curiosity, because now this is based on research that I've done for other episodes, future episodes. It just seems that there's quite a common theme of guys who have donated sperm before they have their own families, like whether they're students or they're single Pringles, whatever, but that they've got to their 40s, 50s, 60s and then thought, I wonder if it was ever used, or I wonder how many children are walking around. Like there's this, can't remember where the article was. I think it was on the Donor Conceived Network, maybe. But this guy, and I'll find it and I'll link it in the notes and things. I remember reading that this guy he donated in the UK and in Australia, and then went about his life, and then had his own 3 kids, got married, 3 kids, whatever, raised them, and then through loving and nurturing and cherishing his own kids and seeing how awesome they were, he was like, I wonder how many others are out there like my kids, and I think there's always, I wonder if it's kind of like how we went around the place. Like Helen, I know you had this, where you would watch TV or a film or something and then think like, I look like him or whatever. I wonder if some donors have the same paternal instinct that they didn't have initially, but becoming fathers themselves, like for their own families, that they now think, oh God, my view has changed completely. I have some children walking around.
Yeah,
And
that's
there's
really
this sort of like connection where you're like, I feel like I need to know that they're okay.
coming it from, I mean, I guess like coming from it from a more like holistic perspective. And I think it's really interesting that you said that, because I want to read something that is specifically written on the HFEA website about this. And it says, if you decide you might like to have an ongoing relationship with the person conceived from your donation, you might need to consider having a conversation with your friends and your family about the following. Do you want them to meet the people who are important to you? Do you want to meet the people who are important to them? How might you and your donor conceived child or children connecting with each other affect your family as well as you? And all of the top things that pop up in terms of like, what are some of the things you need to consider are really sort of mental health based, actually, which I was sort of surprised by, but also it was like quite lovely to see. The first one being, it's really nice. It says, you're likely to go through many different emotions. Anxiety, curiosity, and excitement may all play a part. Much of what you feel may depend on your own circumstances and whether your close family are aware that you donated sperm, eggs, or embryos in the past. And after getting information about you, the donor conceived person may decide to take their time. This is an important one. May decide to take their time before contacting you, if at all, or they may contact you straight away. And that's also something for the donor that they have to consider, because the FHEA will reach out to them to say, this person would like to contact you. We've had to give them your information. And then that person could go months, maybe years, almost sort of waiting to hear from an individual, yet perhaps never hear from them. So that's also something to think about and consider, which I certainly hadn't.
From 1991, the world changed so much in donor conception and the ethics. And that's really lovely. It's just a shame that we just missed out by like
missed it.
6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Life altering as a result. It's really wild.
Do you know, I wondered earlier today was, okay, Helen, you were, we say, put on ice. We're assuming that's what happened because mum and dad wanted another one. So our doctor, who I think we're okay to say, not his name, but he was very instrumental in the UK with the ethical side of things. So it's really nice to know that the doctor who was part of our conception was planning ahead ethically. So I wonder how many other patients who said, yeah, we want to come back, and maybe used our sperm donor, but they had children born after you, Helen.
I always think about that because it's only... Yeah, because so I'm February 1991, but this law change was August 1991. That's not much of a difference at all. That's people still in the same... Don't know why I'm talking about this when I'm like 35. That's people in the same school year as me. But it is though. And there must be people on it. But again, it's like, have they been told yet or not? And is it just a matter of waiting for them to be told or to find out? And then they can contact the HFEA. And we just need one to be on the HFEA thingamajigamy. Yeah. It is interesting. Although, I mean, arguably, this is not the time to say it, is it? I was going to be like, we do know who our donor is, but this is not the right cliffhanger moment to do that.
Well, actually, I'm going to do a true or false situation. I want you to
True
tell me
or
if the following...
false? Oh, yes.
My name was Smokey McPhee.
I'm going to do a true or false.
Fuck's sake.
Oh my God, that's brought me such joy.
True or false? True or false. If you're becoming a sperm, egg, or embryo donor, you're actually able to provide a personal description and a goodwill message to help potential parents and any children conceived know more about you as a person. True or false?
True.
I didn't bloody know that, but how gorgeous is that?
Sorry.
Oh, carry on.
So I went to a donor conceived group meetup once in London, and I met a girl there who fell into the category of being able to apply for the identifying information. And
Right.
she showed me what her identifying information was. And it's, from how you've just described it, sounds glorious. From what she had on her sheet of paper, utter wank. Excuse the Freudian slip there. But she just had like brown hair, blue eyes, likes to go on walks. And that was it. So it was literally just filling in a couple of boxes. And her point was like,
It's almost like, what's the point?
yeah,
Like,
that's what
just
she
don't
said.
bother. Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Just
think
don't bother.
it depends on who was doing it. Obviously, if that's used in the correct manner, great.
Yeah, that's the thing. And I think that, well, there are two ways in which they've said on the HFEA website that you can do it. And the Goodwill, it's got nice descriptors of what they actually should be, which I'm going to read out. It says the Goodwill message should be a personal message for any children born from a donation. Whilst the Goodwill message is designed for the children born from your donation, it is also to be read by their parents when they are choosing a donor.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I think, do you know how old this individual was, Helen?
Like not much younger than me. So maybe that's when
So-
this was first introduced and not
Yeah.
that.
Maybe it was more of a like tick box
I
exercise
think
rather than
so.
like really
Maybe they
kind of an
didn't
opportunity.
Sorry, yeah,
No, sorry.
maybe they didn't trust the process yet because it was still so new and
Yeah.
people had only just started giving information. So they're on the fence. They're like, shit, I really need the cash, but I also don't want to tell you about me because I
Yeah.
don't know what repercussions are going to come about yet.
Totally.
Have you got any examples of like a Goodwill message then?
I have. And here's one of them. I made the decision to donate because I wanted to give someone the opportunity to experience the joy of parenthood. I hope you are happy and healthy and that you know you were brought into this world with the best intentions. Embrace who you are and live life to the fullest.
Oh my God, that's so nice.
I've never been more bitterly jealous than all my life. Like, imagine how lucky
Yeah.
these children are now to be given a message like that.
And that, like, I guess that one focuses more on like motivation and hope, but some of them aren't quite like that, and more of them do focus on sort of, oh no, they're still lovely. Some of them like focus more on personality and hobbies, like this one.
Okay.
I'm an easygoing person who loves spending time outdoors, hiking and playing guitar. I've always been a curious person, and I hope you have that same passion for learning. I hope you have a wonderful life and a loving family. That's a
Also
lovely one
nice.
too.
That's also nice. If I was going to pick out of the two, I'd go for the first bloke personally.
Would you go for the third bloke that I'm
Ooh.
about to read out? I wish you all the best in your life. I'm proud to have helped your family, and I hope you know that you are special.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't love that.
Oh, did you not?
Are
No.
you dead?
Probably.
Yeah, but hey, was it because it was too emotional? Or no?
Well,
Or
no,
just too like,
I thought it was just a bit, yeah,
yeah.
exactly. After the deed's done, then I'll put that on the word. No, don't really mean it. Filled the box.
Had to write something.
Yeah, that felt insincere to me.
Okay, well, the last
I
one.
think-
Oh,
oh,
go
yeah.
on, Jem.
No, I was just going to say, like, I think any of them where there's a reminder that, you know, it's a difficult situation how donor conceived people came into the world, but the bottom line is that we're all bloody lucky the fact that we're so loved and wanted.
Yeah.
And that's the takeaway from it, really, isn't it? And it's just really
Absolutely.
nice if a donor acknowledges that as well. It just seems like it's coming from the right place from them.
Can I just interrupt?
Okay.
I feel like we're in a really weird Twilight Matrix zone where Gemma and I have swapped personalities.
Sorry?
And I'm being really like angry at the system of like, fuck that guy saying the nice things. and Gemma's being really like empathetic and understanding about it.
Well, those were examples of goodwill messages.
Okay.
But the personal description, which I think sounds a little bit more down the route that the lady who you met at that donor conceived conference had received, sounds a little bit more like what she sort of had, perhaps. But the personal description should give the person reading it a feel for you as a person. And they say it's helpful for potential parents to get an idea of who you are and what you are like. And it can be helpful when parents have to explain to their child that they are donor conceived. Many parents and donor conceived people have commented on how valuable and important this information is to them.
Okay.
So I do wonder if now, if you were saying that that lady was a similar age to us, I do wonder if kind of over the past decade or the last 5 years, it's become a much larger part of when you are handing over your... I mean, I don't know if there's like any research on this at all, but I do wonder if when an individual finds out that they are donor conceived, if the people that actually want to journey through the world of discovering who their donor is come from a background where they have had a difficult relationship with a parent who has brought them up.
Yeah.
And I wonder if, some people find out that they're donor conceived but have a really, really positive and like amazing relationships with both like mum and dad, and that they just never want to find out because why should they? Like if they're not bothered about, finding out about their heritage, etc.
Yeah.
Like why would they?
Because we want them to, because then they could be one of us. One of us. Plus, like, do you guys want to find more siblings?
For the purposes of the podcast and not sounding like a complete bitch. Yeah, of course I want to find more from like my own selfish head. Oh my God, I'm tired. I like think it's really, it would be difficult because it's quite hard to, it's like discovering a whole new part of yourself. And like I really like I really like it as it is, but also of course if anybody matches, join us. But like yeah, at the same time, when you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, another one. Do you know what I mean?
I completely like hear you. And I also, from like a very selfish perspective, I think I would be like, I am so obsessed with you both. I feel like I wouldn't want anyone else to come into this circle. But that's, obviously I'm joking, and like I think the more the merrier.
You're not.
Ultimately.
Sure.
No, honestly, the more the merrier. Do you know what I would like to find? A brother. That's what I would like to find.
Too.
Would love to find a brother. Obviously, if there are sisters, bring them in, join the party. But like, I have always grown up and like craved like a brotherhood.
Yeah.
Oh,
I always wished that I had a big brother growing up.
me
Always
too.
wished I had a big brother.
Do you know what I think is weird? Is that a normal thing for people to feel? Or is
Ooh.
that a weird like universe pull? Like I know we've kind of touched on this before, but we all individually had stuff when we were younger of like Gemma was convinced she was adopted for a while. I was convinced that King Charles was my dad for a while.
So niche.
But I think there's do you always wish you would have had a brother, or is the universe telling you you do have a brother as a subconscious thing? Do you know what I mean?
Shall I do like a bit of a deep dive into the psychology of that? And then
Oh my God,
is it
let's
like
get a psychic.
shit the bed, Helen?
Oh my God, please, we can get one to join. Oh, please, I would fucking love that.
Can we do that as the next one?
If any listeners can recommend, like actually like properly legit recommend someone who they have used and they've been like, they're bang on the money there.
Sorry. Can
Please
I
let us
just
know.
say, we've like taken such pride in being scientifically correct with everything and doing all the research. Now we're like, let's get a psychic. And if anyone could recommend some crystals and a good shop for some sage at the same time. But seriously, if anyone has actually had a decent psychic experience, send it our way just out of interest. Because we don't have any records to trace, but
We want to know how many are out there.
Perfect. And cut.
Done.
I'm being deadly serious. I want us to
Yeah.
get a psychic.